But joining us live from Los Angeles this morning is royal commentator Kinsey Schofield. Kinsey, good morning. What are the options currently being considered by the palace?
Well, you know, this reminds me of what happened during Spare. Remember, they talked about those secret strategy meetings they had in preparation for Spare, and there was a big wall where they listed everything that could potentially be brought up and how they could respond or prepare for those stories to come out. And it was Prince William that aggressively wanted to fight back and go after his brother, but he was outvoted. They decided that when it came to Spare, unlike the Oprah Winfrey interview, it was really going to be the never complain, never explain a strategy. So, and I thought that it worked out really well. In this particular case, we are hearing that they're considering maybe perhaps going after someone legally for this. And I wonder, while, you know, the cheerleader in you says, yeah, go get them, you also think, could this potentially open them up to additional information that the royal family does not want out there? Could this open them up to more criticism? Could this just give this book in some way, shape or form credibility?
Kins, you're right. The problem is never explain, never complain has always been the mantra. And listen, the story's moved on overnight, which is why we've done it again. Today, Scobie's agents have said, oh, I might have sent the wrong draft. Only to one country. I have my opinion. Nick feels some empathy for him. I think that if you enter the viper's nest, you get yourself stung. That's the way it goes. Interestingly, everything's boiling up. Should it... I mean, I threw it out there. Should the king, should the royal family finally speak up, or should they just keep calm and quiet? Should Harry and Meghan... What's your view on that, Kins? Where do you stand on that?
Well, we should be careful, because I believe it was a source that told the Times that a United Talent agent had actually sent that original draft version to the Dutch publisher. I don't think an agent has specifically come out and taken credit for it, or the word credit is wrong. I don't think an agent has come out to take the blame for it and soften the blow for Scobie or Harry and Meghan, who also haven't commented on it. It does make certain people look dishonest, because Omid Scobie specifically said in an interview that those words were never written. And now we're hearing that this could have been an original draft that was accidentally submitted by his agent. So that means he might have said something on television that was dishonest. If he's willing to go on television and lie about one thing, could he be lying about A, this being a giant publicity stunt, or B, who his sources are, as people continue to wonder whether or not the Duke and Duchess were directly involved in the making of Endgame?
Kinsey, the two people who have had the finger pointed at them on this, that was something that was pretty widely known within certain circles anyway. Was it not just a matter of time that those two names made it out into the press?
I had never heard the name Catherine, the Princess of Wales. And when we first heard that there were two individuals, I actually thought that it was going to be Queen Consort Camilla, because Christopher Anderson in the States years ago named, well, yeah, probably years ago, named King Charles. And then it was Tom Bower in the book Revenge that named Camilla.
Sorry, can I jump in? I thought during the Oprah Winfrey interview, they said it was only one.
They did.
They did. They absolutely did. But then over the course of the last few years, we've had a couple of people come out and say, I know who it is. Christopher Anderson naming the king, Tom Bower naming Camilla. So when I heard that there were two people, I thought, well, we've already heard both of those names. No big deal. I honestly think that the idea of Catherine, the Princess of Wales, being somehow involved shocked the world. And that is the only reason why I think they might be more aggressive when it comes to Endgame versus Spare, because William is so incredibly protective of his wife.
Very interesting. I mean, listen, wherever you sit on this, I mean, take the story further. I mean, that's interesting what she just said about the fact that he said, I didn't pick up on that. That's very good of you, that he picked up, he said in his interview, I didn't write it. And now they're saying it's the agent sent the manuscript, the original manuscript. Let's take it on to what they're saying over here today. And MP Bob Seeley has called for a change in the law to have the Duke and Duchess stripped of their titles and become Mr. and Mrs. Sussex. What are your thoughts on that, Kins?
You know, that's not, as an American, I don't think that that's for me to say. You know,
Well, we're asking you, girlie. We're asking you.
I don't want to get in trouble here. I think that it was right to allow them to keep it when they first left the royal family because everything was up in the air. What will they do with their new life? But they haven't continued to live the life of service that they promised. And so I understand why that is a question. I think that if they really truly did have something to do with Endgame, that's incredibly hurtful towards the royal family, and it should, maybe it should be an option on the table.
Here's the bit I don't get. Maybe Nick can help me out. If they fervently believe that the royal family is so appalling and antiquated and possibly racist, why the hell would they want anything to do with this organisation? Why would they want titles? And why would they want to make their living slagging off? It doesn't make sense. If you don't like something, don't benefit from it.
Or if
give your titles up.
If you don't like something, fight like hell to change it, which I think is something that they have tried to do. Do you think that there is a possibility? Look, at the end of the day, there were at least two people party to that conversation, Prince Harry and whoever allegedly said these comments. Harry has since come out and said he never called it racist specifically, it just has been interpreted as such. So there's two people here who could come out and speak. One is Harry, he hasn't done that thus far. Is it now on the other person to come forward and hold their...
him? Why does it have to be on the king?
Why are you saying it's the king?
From what we've been hearing, it's the king. Why should he come out?
One of those two people needs to surely come out and speak about that conversation.
I think that's right.
I mean, or they can do it through their actions. Maybe whoever is accused of it, they start working with a charity that is highly educated on something like that. It doesn't have to be a press conference, but it certainly could be through their actions that they start to understand unconscious bias better.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks so much, Kinsey, for joining us all the way from Los Angeles.